Hey everybody, welcome back to 5 Fact Friday. Thanks for all the good vibes this week. I can't tell you how excited I am to host the contest. I wanted to say that the official rules are going to come out this Thursday that's coming up, so one day before next week's 5 Fact Friday. But I encourage everybody who sees this to take heed on a head start. That's when all the official rules will be out. I also have 2 surprise secret guests. I'm gonna do like a kind of a build up on Instagram, and thank you so much to everyone who's already been sending me your early submissions. You guys are so rad and I'm so excited for this. Like, it's all I talk about and I'm just super excited. If you ask me a question on the contest video, the pre-contest video, I try my best to answer you. So if you continue to have questions, continue to ask them on that video. I'm gonna check it a couple times a day so I can get back to you, and it's gonna be sweet. I'm so excited. I think the hashtag is gonna be Quiet Cool Contest. I kind of like that. I have a variety of really cool questions for you today. I am experiencing this hurricane. I've only ever seen memes for the hurricane. I have not seen any official like newscasts for the hurricane. Just the meme page. But yeah, hurricane out there. The lighting is very indoor recess-esque, so forgive me. I actually was wearing a dark shirt and I had to change it to a lighter shirt because it's so dark outside. I was just over here so I had to change that. So it's kind of late in the day. I waited all day for the sun to come out. I should have just checked the weather and realized it was a storm. So I'm really hoping John does not walk in this door right now because it is kind of late in the day. But pulling up my questions really quickly, I wanted to add, I love when you guys ask me questions on Snapchat, although sometimes I'm asked some repeats. So I made a 5 Fact Friday playlist that is available on the front page of my YouTube. I know the 5 Fact Fridays are long, but I do invite you to go ahead and, I don't know, curl up with a blanket and watch through that playlist, because I do feel bad, but I don't want to do any duplicates just because I really do like 5 Fact Friday, so I try to keep it cool and unique and going and getting new feedback and interesting questions. So if you do want to ask something but you're a little new to the channel, I do recommend the playlist. I put them all in there for you, nice and neat. And I also tried to retitle some of the old ones, so if you're afraid of watching one and you don't want to waste your time, some of them have little blurbs on them. Anyway, let's start. How do you feel about tattoo flash sheets? You mentioned that you wanted to get a jack-o'-lantern tattoo. You mentioned you have a jack-o'-lantern tattoo, and I was wondering how you felt about getting the same tattoo as everybody else. So, what is a flash sheet for those of you out there? A flash sheet, I have a couple of them back here. Let me grab it. So I have a couple flash sheets on my wall up here. It's just a nice way to collect art from tattoo artists. This is the flash sheet that Qcknd gave me, and it's kind of just a sheet of images that you can choose from if you wanted to get a certain image tattooed. Little for Qcknd on there. So here's how I feel about flash sheets. I would get every single tattoo on here because I have a lot of good feelings about them. I really like flash sheets. How I feel about them is I like when artists put them out because, one, you can buy them and it gives you kind of an ability to collect tattoos that you maybe don't have room on your body for, they don't fit your scheme or whatever you're trying to do. How do I feel getting tattoos? How do I feel about getting tattoos off flash sheets? It really depends. I have a tattoo from a flash sheet that I got from an SPCA benefit that helped an animal shelter, and I thought that was cool. And I know whenever I see someone with that tattoo, I can visually be were you there? I was there. That's really cool that you donated. That's really cool. I really like that. Friday the 13th flash sheets, I feel if you're not familiar with that, a lot of shops do Friday the 13th big spectacle things where they offer discounted rates for tattoos that are Friday the 13th-esque, and everyone picks from the sheet and you can't really change it, and that's the tattoo you get. Those are cool too, but I feel like you know what you're getting into. Would I get a Friday the 13th tattoo? Maybe later if I need like a little ornament kind of filler somewhere, but right now I'm not really interested in getting any of them, though I think it's like a fun concept. But I don't know, like when I got tattooed by Ashley Love at the last tattoo convention, she had flash available to tattoo, but after you got the tattoo, she took that flash away so no one else could get that tattoo. I thought that that was really chill, but then again, people have different feelings where they don't mind that other people have the same tattoo because they just really like it. If you're worried about a lot of people having the same tattoo as you, I would say speak to an artist and be like, hey, after I get this piece of flesh, what are you going to do with it? And sometimes they'll say it's all yours, sometimes they'll say I'm going to put it back out. So it all depends. I would just communicate with your artist. I like flash. I think flash is super cool, but I do feel like I work with a lot of tattoo artists who put their own spin on things and don't recreate a ton of work. And all those comments out there who say, you just have traditional tattoos and I've seen your tattoo on an Ed Hardy shirt 100 times, boop, boop, boop. You haven't, but whatever. I would get tattooed off a flash sheet by my favorite artist because they can do no wrong. I wouldn't go to a tattoo shop though and flip through the sheets and sheets and sheets that are already on the wall. I would want something that my artist painted themselves, if that answers the question. But my pumpkin tattoo isn't from a flash sheet. I do like Halloween flash sheets though. This is my last year of high school, and everyone was telling me to live in the moment because I would miss it for the rest of my life. High school, do you miss your high school experience? And my answer is absolutely not. I don't feel any connection with my high school at all. And even my graduation, like there wasn't a big graduation party at my house. Like when my graduation came up, my parents were like, are you graduating this year? Like it didn't really matter. We didn't like go out to dinner or anything either. It was just the end. Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of strong feelings for my high school. My best friends went to technical high school, so I was kind of like a lone soldier when it came to high school. And I may have talked about this before, but my high school was in a really wealthy area, and my family was not. So when I would go to school, there was a really big class division between the wealthy and the poor. And even some of my teachers would laugh and say, there are cars in the student parking lot that I could never dream of affording. Like, my school was lit. And when you're a poor kid and you get put in an environment like that, it makes you think about yourself and think about like what you did wrong, and it builds animosity against your parents who couldn't provide like a lifestyle that you keep seeing over and over and over again. Like, I graduated school in 2008, and I'm not kidding, those kids already had iPhones, and I was like, what? I had a big purple cell phone that was like, hello? And I loved that thing. It was reflective, you could check your braces. But yeah, that kind of painted a really clear picture in my mind that like left me leaving high school with really bad feelings. And I mean, it was hard for me to make friends with kids who like already had cars and already had iPhones, and they went to their parents' cabin, beach house, guest house all the time. Like a lot of kids in my high school, their parents had guest house that they'd already like moved into, and they were already partying. Kids in my high school like went on vacation together all the time, and that's like what you would hear them talking about in homeroom, like, oh, did your parents sign the security deposit, blah, 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 blah. My dad's doing this, blah, blah, and my mom's gonna drive us to the airport. And like my class, they like went on vacations all the time, senior week, beaches, Virginia beaches, all of this stuff. And for prom, they all rented like party buses and limos, and we drove to prom in my parents' Jeep Cherokee. And you know, it just like was not, I didn't leave with like any friends. And then after that, all those students like went to like university in California, and I haven't really heard from any of them ever again. Ever. I don't think it's fair for someone to tell you that like these are the best years of your life, because I didn't start living my life until I was like 23. And all the time I always like felt bad about myself, like I'm not living the golden years and I'm not living the best years of my life, and I'm at home and I'm sad all the time and all the lights are out and I'm wasting this time, and it's like, nah. But I didn't figure that out until I was 25. And hold your fingers before you type up how important your high school was to you. This question was asked about my experience, and it is solely my experience. And everyone who felt really discouraged by me talking about how I dropped out of college, only I dropped out. I encourage everybody to go to school if you wanna. If you don't want to, do you. And that's how I feel about high school. Don't drop out of high school, but if you went through your whole high school and didn't make any friends and you feel like you lost that opportunity, you didn't. But I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I really didn't have any friends in high school, and when I graduated, I never looked back. And not like, I have like one friend from high school who follows me on Instagram, and her and I weren't even friends in high school, but we're really chill together now. But that's about it. I have not seen or heard from anyone from my high school since I graduated, except for my like best friends, who were always my friends anyway, but they didn't even go to graduation. Since you've gained weight, how have you avoided getting stretch marks? So, I mentioned before that I gained about 30 pounds this year, and a lot of it has to do with my birth control and obviously like school and like weird eating habits because of school and things like that. And yes, I've gained a lot of weight, but my stretch marks, like, I've always had stretch marks, and they were always like on my inner thigh. And when I was younger, like, I would sit in my room and look at them and just cry because I didn't have like deep purple stretch marks. I had stretch marks that almost looked like someone ran their nails through my skin, almost like really deep lines that you could feel, and they were like white, so they looked like old scars. And I had these stretch marks my whole life, and when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, like, I wouldn't say that I was like the same weight I am right now. And there was even a point where like I had to talk to my guidance counselor about like my eating habits and stuff, but like I think that I was relatively healthy, but I've always had stretch marks. But my mom always had stretch marks too, but hers were purple, so I always thought that mine were different. But I've always like had them. And now that I'm like gaining weight and I've always had the same stretch marks. So now that I'm gaining weight, it's almost like filling them in, if that makes sense, because now my thighs are more rounded and they don't have the like grooves in them anymore. I do also have stretch marks that go down my hips too, and I really don't have a problem with them. When I was younger, all I did was think about them, and now I like pull my pants on, I'm like, huh. I do have one that goes through a tattoo, but they're kind of cool. You might know that I'm like into scars and stuff like that, and that's kind of how I treat them. I think that most people have stretch marks, so don't think that you're the only one. And two, I think that they're really cool because your body developed them itself and created them, and it's kind of like something that's unique to you because your body generated it for you. Like, the stretch marks that go down my hips are like these stripes, these like white stripes that look like scarring, and I think that they're awesome. I would get scars that look like that. I would get scarification that looks like that, tattooing that looks like that, and I think it's so cool. So yeah, when I was younger, I was obsessed with my stretch marks, like who can see them, I can't wear shorts, I can't, like, my legs are so ugly, I need liposuction. I remember I was in the car with my mom when I was, like, telling her how bad I wanted liposuction in my thighs, because they would rub and clap, and they were so ugly. And one day it just, like, was overlooked, and then it didn't matter. So I have not avoided getting stretch marks since I've gained weight, but I have learned to accept them and, like, actually think that they're cool and unique, and I really like them. Do you think John would do a sit-down Q&A or 5-Fact Friday? Here's the thing about John, and you may remember it from a Snap story I posted a little bit ago. John has a hard time in front of the camera, and a few weeks ago, let me start over. You may notice I post a lot of pictures of John, and it may seem apparent that he doesn't have an Instagram. He does, but it's private. My YouTube, he is supportive of it, but obviously he's not on here. This isn't called, like, Qcknd plus John. John has his own social anxieties that he faces, and one of the things is, like, his internet appearance and how he exists on the internet, and it's something that he's, like, something he's very considerate of. And I tell him all the time, like, you have a common ass name, like, you can't Google yourself, like, we couldn't even check his credit, his name is so basic, and, like, you can't find him online. I'm the only person, and you just type my name in, and I come up for years and years and years, and there's just nothing I can do about it at this point. But John's really private, his Instagram is private, he uses it to communicate with, like, 50 people at the most, and that's about it. So a couple of my YouTube people, I don't know, did some, like, private investigating and found John. I don't really know how they did it because I keep John very private. John doesn't even like my photos very often. Like, I swear that guy's on Instagram, like, I don't know, once a week, like. So a couple people found his Instagram and blew it up. And this put, like, a really weird feeling into John's perception of what I do and my career and stuff like that. And we had to have a long talk about it and all this stuff. And for a second I was like, I have to stop doing YouTube. I don't know how to, like, protect John and protect these people from him. So I tried to put out a public service announcement to, like, leave John alone. And then there was a bunch of things where, like, one person, like, took it so far that they, like, started following everyone that John follows. And then one of his friends who follows, like, less than 10 people got a strange follower who was, like, a 16-year-old girl. And then that was really weird for him. And then it turned into me having to fix it. So I don't know how this all started, and I tried to assure John that, like, people love him and he motivates people and he inspires people and that he's a really unique and creative person. And I love when he appears on my channel. But he just got, like, a little scared because he'll see me on my phone and it's lighting up and I'm responding to people and all this stuff, and he's like, that's a lot of work. But I love it, and that's what I want to do. But for him, that's, like, something he wants to access through me but not be a part of. So, I mean, I asked him this and he said yeah, but I think he would need specific questions that, like, he can think about and, like, really get his gears turning and stuff like that. Because even after I posted vlog 3 for the Pope where John starts coming in, later when he was watching it, he was like, you know, you didn't really ask me if you could film me. And I was like, yes, I did. He was like, oh, okay. So I think John needs time to, like, if you wanted to set up a Q&A thing with John, I would need really specific questions to ask him that he could think about, and then he could decide to say no. I can't just turn the camera on him. He's really not like that. And after a couple bad experiences with, like, my YouTube getting into his life without his control, he's having a lot of weird feelings. So my thing is, if you somehow figure out John's username, or you want to ask John something specifically, you might just have to do it through me, and I invite everybody, if they have questions for John and things like that, I invite them to leave a comment on this video so I can monitor those questions and introduce them to him, and he can decide like, yeah, I'd love to sit in front of the camera, or I'll answer those questions, but let's do it while we're doing something. Because I think that's really easy for him. He said he had a lot of fun filming our vegan Bronco video together, and I didn't even know that, because I thought it was like I thought he seemed frustrated, but recently he was like, that was a lot of fun and we can do that again. So it might be a Q&A while he's under the hood. So the answer is, he said yes, but I know that it's hard for him. So if you want to come up with some questions for John, leave them on this video. Don't snap them to me, so maybe he can have he can choose to like look at them himself and decide that like he's overwhelmed or he's comfortable. And I tell him all the time, like, you guys really love him and accept him, and that there is no judgment. But he sees the things that some people say about me, so I know he feels a certain way. But it doesn't matter. No one's gonna tell John he's bad at makeup. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know, at the end of every single one of my videos, I have closing credits. All of my credits always have song information if I played a song during the video, and they have some of my information on there, and especially if I mentioned something during the video, it's always in the end credits. I get a lot of questions like, what is your Snapchat? What is your Instagram? What song is that? I swear it's always in the end credits. The end credits also always have bonus footage, so check that out. Some of you guys send me clips from the bonus footage, and I'm always just like, yes, you watched it. So always check out the end roll. It's never more than like 3 seconds, but all your information is going to be down there. I don't always have time to like write a description. Sometimes I will upload a video and then leave, because the uploading process can sometimes take up to 3 hours. So I'm not like hunched over my computer waiting. I'll often go to school, but yeah, thank you so much. If there's ever anything you want to ask and you're not quite sure if you've asked it before, I do have the 5 Fact Friday playlist, and all the contest prep is happening this week. I'm going to have all the official rules written out. I'm still trying to figure out a way. A couple people contacted me and said they don't have Instagram. We are really trying to figure out a way to incorporate everybody. I think any platform that has a hashtagging platform, I think will be the best way to submit. Instagram is my ideal way, because I really don't understand Twitter. But let me know your ideas for the contest. You can always leave more information on the contest video, and I will get back to you. I'm checking that frequently. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for participating in 5 Fact Friday every week. I love it. I look forward to it. These questions have been super fun. And yeah, keep Quiet Cool Contest on your mind, and until next time, bye!